She started to have negative effects with it, okay? The reason why her lymphedema started to act up was because of what she was being. When Wendy was falling over the chair and calling out to her mom, even after her mom had died, she was being.
There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now, so.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. You represent a lot.
According to reports, Joe Rogan has revealed how Diddy is connected to Wendy Williams' ordeal, and how over the last 6 months, she has entirely disappeared from the public eye. Why had no one noticed her behavior?
So she could celebrate with her father and the rest of her family. So we are doing a documentary on this.
P. Diddy puts on that wild party, and he sets everybody up. Like if you were an intelligence agent, like a Jeffrey Epstein type deal, that'd be the way to do it. Big old crazy party, get everybody loose.
And get the cameras
Get them
rolling.
the yayo. Get them the yayo.
And everything else.
Get them everything you need. Get fired up. Get those cameras rolling. And now you got everybody under wraps.
See a neurologist to find out if I'm crazy?
Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again.
I have no money. And I'm gonna tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
We are aware that Wendy has recently had extreme financial hardship due to individuals taking her money and bank accounts on the grounds that she is mentally ill, but Joe Rogan is now claiming that Diddy may be involved. Since 2022, a court-ordered guardianship has been in place for Wendy. According to Sabrina Morrissey, her guardian, Wendy's first diagnosis of FTD and aphasia was the reason she was unable to adequately manage her personal life or finances. Following hospital visits and concerns about her memory, the diagnosis was made, and everyone thought the problem was irreversible. However, Wendy continued to assert that she was still completely cognizant throughout, and it seemed that everyone purposefully disregarded her.
But she obviously was drinking a lot, okay? What happens next is that Wells Fargo, which didn't know banks could do this, essentially just said, we're gonna freeze all of your bank accounts and petition the court for you to have a temporary financial guardianship. And that happened, okay? They just stopped her being able to have access to her money. They said that it was to protect Wendy Williams' finances, and that's the reason that they did it. Suddenly she gets somebody else that becomes her guardian. Like Wells Fargo is somehow able to secure a guardian over her. This woman, who just looks like a villain, is now suddenly in control of her life. She doesn't know this woman. She has no relationship with her. She wasn't her financial advisor, but now she is totally in control of Wendy Williams' life. And so she appeared on Breakfast Club with her niece Alex, and she spoke about what was going on. And here is what Wendy and her niece Alex had to say about it.
I am not cognitively impaired, you know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying?
This is her room. That's literally her apartment. But the thing about this apartment, and you know this, not Wendy, because you're there, it's small. She has a bed, a chair, a TV, a bathroom, and she's looking out one window. The buildings across the street.
So now Wendy Williams is essentially calling on friends to speak out because she can't do anything. Like again, this is the most terrifying thing. I don't even know how this is allowed legally. This should obviously be abolished unless she is physically harming someone.
People are furious over the whole plot against her because recent testing revealed Wendy never had FTD. The guardianship's fundamental premise is thus called into question. Was she subjected to rigorous control in the absence of reliable medical evidence? Was she being silenced by someone? Throughout her career, Wendy seems to have created a lot of enemies. Specifically, one of those adversaries did not want her to reveal him.
What people don't understand about Puff is this. He held the entertainment grip, especially for the people who was his former artists, in a chokehold. If you didn't do what he say do, if he didn't like you, you would never ever work for Bad Boy or anybody in the entertainment business again. He did it to Kirk Burrows. You understand? He did it to Wendy Williams. He did it to a lot of people, bruh.
For years, Wendy Williams has been criticizing Diddy's actions, even when doing so jeopardized her own career. She undoubtedly heard the murmurs, even if she was unaware of anything that was happening behind the scenes. She developed her own perception of Diddy based on what others in the business told her. That image sometimes appeared on her radio program. People are aware that from her radio days, Wendy Williams has been exposing Puff and others for their wrongdoing. In fact, there is a report that Diddy allegedly urged Total, the female group he signed, to attack Wendy because she had mentioned him on television. Wendy herself narrated this tale, which may seem crazy.
There was an incident a few months before that, and they just had put him outside and everything. About a month and a half before that. Yeah.
I remember I got off the air one day and them the Total downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his car just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks, Skell. I'm standing in the door like, what? And I'm literally about to go through. Now, I'm not like, what, let's fight, because I'm not one of those type of broads. And plus, there was 3 of them. Out of nowhere. This is like when I think we were first starting to date. We were brand new into it. You know, there were little signs. You know how little signs kick in that certain people are meant to be in your life and stuff. There were a lot of those that happened before, we actually sealed the deal. And that was like one of them. Like, God only knows what would have happened if I got out on the sidewalk and everything like that. Papers going flying, Scale cowering. The little Chinese man that drove the van that they were coming. There was no security or anything. It was just them 3 fighting broads. And me. And my coworkers that shot standing upstairs trying to look down to see it all jump off. They all knew. When I said goodnight to everybody, everybody's pressed up against the window. I didn't even walk or bother asking, what are you all looking for? Because when the clock strikes, it's time to go. It is time to go. Nobody rushes out of a place faster than me.
And ain't nobody put you on?
No! That's what I'm saying. Nobody put me on. They're all pressed up against the window, looking down, knowing what the hell was about to happen. I didn't get a chance to hit the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew it, out of nowhere. Nobody called. It's not even like he knew. It was just like weird. Almost like karma. One of those, another sign to say that this is the one for me. I guess, kind of, sort of. Next thing I know, he's out of the car and there's a whole bunch of rah-rah going on outside, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Additionally, Wendy was saying and disclosing things that Diddy didn't really appreciate at this time. For instance, she ended up with a picture of Suge Knight holding Diddy's infant amid the East Coast versus West Coast fight. There was something that Bad Boy did not want to let go of.
Suge Knight. Is it true that Suge Knight took a picture with Misa and Puffy's son Justin, and Puffy found out about the picture and he went crazy? Take me through that, man. How did that come about?
One of those trips, she may have been hired by someone relatable to Death Row, or maybe by Death Row Exact. I don't know. But the check was right, and she took the check, and she went to the West Coast to do the job. Baby Justin was with her. Somehow she was called to that office, I guess, to see the artist or the talent, to meet the people that were cutting the check, and it ended up being Suge Knight, and she was treated very well. I mean, they laid out for her, like, a welcoming mat and all of that. And so well that it got back to the East that she was there in the office and that Suge was meeting Justin Combs and possibly holding him in his arms, and that there was a photographer taking a picture, and that wasn't the picture that we needed to see on our end or that we wanted the world to see at all. So I remember that day extensively. It hit us like, a rocket launcher or something. It hit us hard. I remember getting off the phone. It was almost damn near half a day, maybe 2, 3 o'clock. And maybe in the afternoon, Wendy Day was promoing, announcing something big was going to happen.
Diddy intervened as Wendy hinted at the impending big surprise. Those present said that he threatened to have his music removed from Hot 97 in order to force her off of the station.
Wendy Williams was announcing in her super highly rated afternoon show that might have been even syndicated then, that she had big news coming that involved Justin Dior Combs. Perked my ear up. I said, yo, what's going on? We started calling everybody. He was calling me. He got a heads up. He started calling the bosses at Hot 97. The street team was listening. They heard, the executives heard. We instantly all left the office, 19th Street, some in cabs, some in cars, some running all the way down to Hudson Street where Hot 97 was to get down there just to handle the situation and make sure that that picture was not exposed to the masses and was not delivered through Wendy Williams. In all of that fricka-fracas, if you look back, history will tell you that she was let go from Hot 97 over that and had to go to another city to operate out of. And I think she remembers that in the way she should remember, as something that happened that ran her out of town. And then she was able to come back and be the Wendy Williams that she is now today with all the success that she's had. But that was a snafu that day with us and with my godson in that picture, that image. On the chessboard, it didn't look right on any level. Common level, behind the curtain, and high principalities and kingdoms level, it didn't look good.
Crazy, man. So that's the reason why she got fired from Hot 97, because of that picture of Suge Knight and Misa.
They fired her. I think that situation led to her being fired. Pressure from old boy in regard to that.
Wendy later implied on the air that she had a picture of Diddy in a compromising situation. She was dismissed before she had a chance to discuss it. Gene Deal, his former security, said that Diddy wanted Wendy entirely removed and silenced because he was afraid of what she knew about him.
What was in the picture? Because for some reason, he never went into detail about that.
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the Island of Women. You understand? And this is all it was, bro. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull us down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. And she was gonna put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
Well, I think that we were in California at the time, and Puff was a layout for either Rolling Stones or what's the other magazine? Rolling Stones, it begins with a B. Billboard, right, thank you. He was shooting layout for either Rolling Stone or Billboard when he had the white suit on. I was the one who put him in the damn pool. What happened is that Wendy had somehow shown people that email. You hear me? She's shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was going to boycott their station.
Wendy had already left by the time Puff got back from Los Angeles. She had been transferred to a Philadelphia station. Her career with Hot 97 ended abruptly. Wendy would subsequently claim that she was fired from the position for attempting to expose a homosexual rapper who is now widely believed to be Diddy.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now. So,
although the media has persuaded everyone that she is not sane, new medical findings indicate that she is. There are just too many coincidences for us to believe that nothing suspicious is happening.
I think everyone is just shell-shocked because people like Wendy Williams, people like me, people like Cat Williams, they don't want to believe it. And then even when it's proven, they still don't want to believe it. Like, I was watching some footage and remember that terrible apology that Diddy put up?
Yep.
After the Cassie stuff got leaked out all the way? We did commentary on that.
Additionally, Gene Deal has already said that Diddy engages in this behavior. In the same way that he attempted to quiet himself, he attempts to silence others.
And I said that Diddy was trying to contact people for character witnesses, people for who he had problems with before, whatever like that, and trying to talk to them in the whole 9 yards. That's when they dropped that thing with Cassie. The Homeland Security had some agency or whatever like that that deals with that, dropped that thing on Cassie to show everybody, oh, y'all want to help him? Y'all, this is what y'all want to help? This is who y'all want to, you know, say that he ain't never did nothing. This is what you want to put your brand on? And everybody started backing up from it. Everybody was talking about, yo, man, Cassie was a gold digger. Cassie was this, that, and the third. She loved it in the whole 9 yards. And then when they seen that, all his friends or so-called friends, went away. So him not having a bond is not surprising.
Yeah, and he offered them $50 million, and they still denied his bond.
He should have waited to see what they was gonna offer. Because if he got $50 million to get him and offer that, then they think like, yo, that's too little of a money.
And you right about Diddy phone being tough, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Dunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay.
Wendy maintained a highly restricted life for many years. Lifetime movies, food, work, home, blind shut, and so forth. Although she made jokes about it, she really had no friends, no freedom, and no life outside of the studio. Kevin attempted to steal everything from her after learning that she intended to leave the program and move on.
Kevin had secret meetings with production, told them Wendy's plan to quit the show and to go back to radio, and everybody, and I mean Kevin, production, as well as Wells Fargo Bank, to figure out a way to put and lock Wendy into a conservatorship. Now, the plan was to, of course, keep Wendy medicated, but keep her just medicated enough to where she could just work, and then they could still be in control of her, if that makes sense.
At that point, Wendy's TV persona began to change. On some days, she seemed worn out, disoriented, or unstable. Viewers assumed she was ill or struggling with her own health problems, but the reality was horrible. Storm continued by disclosing that she was among her own people.
Exclusive source telling me that on the set of the television show, Wendy was actually being, and when Wendy was being, she was being through her teeth. Okay, if you guys remember, every single day, well, Monday through Friday, and well, actually the show taped Monday through Thursday, and they did the Thursday and Friday show on Thursday. So anyway, 5 tapings a week. Every single taping, she always had what? Her cup. What was in her cup? Her tea. Now, a lot of the audience and the public assumed she was putting some whiskey in there. She had liquor. Sometimes it was wine. No, baby. It was tea. It was tea. And even though she put her own tea bag in there and she would drop her own cough drop in there, she was not the one heating up the water and bringing it to the actual desk. So whoever was in charge of her hot water to be there ready for her to dip her tea bag in, that's probably who y'all need to look at. I can't say no names, But that's all I can say is that she was literally being drugged through her tea that she drank every single day, okay? Whatever they was dropping in there to Wendy, to make her look loopy, to make her seem loopy and delirious so she could eventually be pushed into a conservatorship, actually started to like, she started to have negative effects with it, okay? The reason why her lymphedema started to act up was because of what she was being drugged with. When Wendy was falling over the chair and calling out to her mom even after her mom had died, she was being drugged. She was being, but she didn't, of course she didn't know it. She wasn't aware of it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been drinking out of that cup.
And ironically, Kevin was expelled from the exact scheme he initiated.
With that being said, at some point, Kevin was kicked out of this plan to put Wendy in this conservatorship. So think about who was all involved with this. Production, and by production, I mean production / the network, right? Wells Fargo, and then of course Kevin, but Kevin got kicked out the circle. Kevin got kicked out the circle, and then the white folks took over. And from what my source is telling me, it's not even just that the white folks took over, it's that them people are gonna always stick together. Wink, wink. So you put together what and who them people is.
I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to.
That's all I can say. Now, like I said, the plan was for Wendy to be put in a conservatorship, be medicated, but be medicated enough to be able to come back to work and do her job. Okay, the network was going to use Wendy until they could no longer use her, and then she was going to mysteriously get deleted in some kind of accident or a fake self-deletion. That's another thing in this industry too. The way that the deaths, the way that the deletions happen, not only are they ritualistic, but a lot of times they're planned.
Given that Wendy was well known for her financial acumen, it is even more disturbing that those close to her attempted to place her under financial conservatorship. The assertion made by those attempting to influence her that she wasn't in the correct frame of mind to make financial choices was completely nonsensical. Here, Wendy discusses how she made wise financial choices.
What were some of the most important things you've learned about having money and keeping money?
Well, I learned from my mom to always have my own. There's nothing wrong with, not disclosing the balances and things like that. I also, a woman's got to know how to make her way. You've got to know how to get a mortgage. You've got to know, what the light bill is, even if you're married, because you never know when a marriage could go left. That's the first thing. I've also learned that it is a fool who co-signs on loans for people that they aren't married to. I don't care if you are my boyfriend and we've lived together for 15 years, Vlad. I am not co-signing on the loan for you to get your new Toyota. Unless I've got a dope career with dope money, and in the back of my mind, I know, oh, by the way, if I co-sign on the loan, then it's my car, you're just driving it. I'm gonna be on the title and everything. And I know that if you and I break up, I keep the car and you go your own separate way, and those little car notes are nothing. That's for the woman, with a large bank account. I've also learned about money that all money is not good money. I like to think that Kevin and I operate our business off of integrity. We've been turning down deals and schmeals since the radio days, lots of them. If it's not fitting into our moral wheelhouse or the convenience now that we're parents of being able to look out for our son and each other, then we're not doing it. We might have to wait a little bit longer for our ship to come in, but our quality of life is great, and that to me is what marks success, quality of life.
Many have now questioned how Diddy could have created anything of this caliber. The problem is that he usually made sure to accomplish things via other people, so it wouldn't have been too hard for him to pull off anything like this. In the business, it's common knowledge that Diddy caused a lot of individuals to vanish. However, it is unknown if Mr. Fix-It, Fahim Muhammad, his chief of security, was the one who carried out these disappearances.
According to the lawsuit filed earlier this year by rapper Lil Rod, accusing Diddy of this. Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. This is what he said in the court papers. Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Lil Rod claims that Muhammad has close connections with the LAPD. After Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion was raided, the security head was photographed arriving at the property surrounded by police. Muhammad also helped cover up Diddy's alleged with his son, Justin's friend known as G, in court document.
This is in addition to Diddy's frequent attempts to quiet his opponents. It doesn't seem all that odd that Wendy didn't meet the same end, either by killing them or by driving them insane. Something unexpected occurred at FCY Fort Dix when Diddy was incarcerated. Diddy really organized and paid for a complete Thanksgiving lunch for over 1,000 individuals in collaboration with a group of prisoners known as bankroll bosses, as opposed to the typical chilly, hurried Thanksgiving. The jail typically prepares a little Thanksgiving dinner, and each inmate just gets a tray and moves on. However, Diddy and a few prisoners wanted it to feel different this time. After purchasing goods from the commissary and preparing for 2 full days, they brought the meal to each housing unit. No one was left out since each structure had ample space for around 200 people. Diddy seemed to have turned into a jail saint.
Every day I will see that. He wasn't just preaching. I feel like he was learning too. He was growing with us. He wasn't above us. He was growing with us.
Yeah.
That's what made it real. It made it so genuine. Made us connect so strongly with him.
Did he ever talk about any regrets that he had or use his own life as examples when he was teaching you guys in terms of his mistakes and his failures?
The regrets, he will always tell us to stay away from, because he said when you're under the influence, he said you will make very poor decisions and your mind will be clouded and you'll think you're making the right choices, but you're not, because you're not 100% of yourself at that moment.
Diddy said that his only goal was to ensure that individuals feel taken care of, particularly during a time when being apart from family is very difficult. He explained it in plain terms. For me, the purpose of Thanksgiving is to ensure that others eat. Everyone is missing their loved ones. During the holidays, many experienced depression. All we wanted was to unite as a family and pursue our own interests. However, a lot of individuals don't think this is real. This could be his attempt to regain some favorable publicity after the terrible accusations made against him. What are your thoughts? Do you believe he was involved in Wendy Williams' demise? Tell us in the comments.